Hey guys, Castlevania, Symphony in the Night.
I'm a dolphin!
That is wonderful. Welcome our special guest, AquaDragon76.
Yay!
She is going to be our guest for this episode of New Game as we play, for the first time on New Game, Castlevania, Symphony in the Night for PlayStation 1.
Yay!
It's a pretty cool game.
I miss my PlayStation 1.
I miss my PlayStation 1.
I miss my Spyro games.
I have Spyro 2 and 3.
I had all three of them.
That or I have 1 and 3, I'm not sure. But I have Spyro games. It really does suck to play on an emulator though. I like to play on an actual PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 2. Do not have a capture card though. Also my PlayStation 2 can't play CDs anymore. Kinda lame. Anyway, here we are. On our way to go and kill some Dracula booty. Already last level, look at that. We are so good. These items up here are actually completely useless. I think like if you don't get these here, then they don't.
Doesn't it like start at the end of like whatever the last Castlevania game was?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Doesn't this start at the end of like whatever the last Castlevania game was?
Yeah, this starts at the end of Rondo of Blood or Dracula X. One of the two. I believe Rondo of Blood. Because they're basically the same game, but they're a little bit different.
A little bit.
Anyway, just run through here. I believe Dracula X, honestly. And just go say hi to Dracula. What's up, bro?
That's the most famous freaking speech ever.
Yeah,
even
it is.
Even you haven't played Castlevania know this.
Or at least most people do. At least most people know a certain line that comes from our welcome vampire icon.
You steal men's souls.
I actually know like freaking the whole speech thanks to like.
I like right there how he pretty much disses all religions at once.
Soul. Mankind ill needs a savior such as you.
What is a man?
A miserable little pile of secrets.
But enough talk. How about you?
But enough talk. How about you?
And you see Aqua here isn't even that much of a Castlevania aficionado, but she knows this speech pretty well. So we're just gonna cheat Dracula to death, and he's probably pissed off.
I also remember that this incarnation of Dracula is also in, except for that part, this incarnation of Dracula is also in I Want to Be the Guy, and when he says, "What is a man if you don't jump out of the way, you get killed by his wife."
Yeah. I feel like if it's that easy to kill Dracula, I don't see why they have to get the Belmonts to do it all the time.
Because they're cursed to do so every time Dracula's reincarnated.
Except for this game.
Richter Belmont. He's still part of the Belmont family line. So.
Yeah, but he's not your main character. He's just the character you play as in the beginning to show the end of the last game. Now, whoops, sorry about that. I don't, like, I like how this has got a story, and it's showing us the story, and it's got the music, and it's epic. For someone who's already played this, I wish I could skip it. To be fair, after you've beaten the game and you start a New Game Plus, it will let you skip them. But alas, I have not done that on this computer.
Oh wait, that's right. You play as Dracula's son.
Yes, you play as Alucard. And
but he teamed up with Trevor Belmont.
Back in Castlevania 3.
One of the Belmont family still was involved.
Not in this one. He did that back in Castlevania 3.
Oh. So, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Game, you can't even explain this. Sorry, plot hole. Plot hole, plot hole, plot hole. Unless somehow the Belmont family line actually ended somewhere.
Not exactly. You'll get to figure out some stuff in this game about what happened to the Belmonts.
Yeah, see, you can already tell I'm not really too familiar with Castlevania.
Yeah. Neither am I really. Like I don't completely play them for their plot. I'm gonna be honest about that. That's not really their good merit.
A game you would play for the plot is like Mother 3, or let me see, what else can I think of for this one?
Bastion.
Some Night Swordcraft Story.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to get into that one actually. So I'm just walking in here as a badass, half vampire. Killed a giant wolf that was like twice my size, or way more than twice my size. And just, one swipe my sword.
Burst into flames, motherfucker!
Yeah, that's about right. Oh no! Zombies! 1 damage, but I'm still flying.
Although, like, some people depict, like, vampires and werewolves being at, certain lore, in, like, older lore, like, the original Dracula, Dracula had the ability to control animals, and some also say that he had the ability to transform into a wolf.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that might be why he has the giant wolf guarding the entrance to the castle.
There is this YouTube channel on YouTube, obviously. Called, I don't remember. Game. Well, they do a show called Game Theory, and Matthew
I love
Patrick
Game
13 is the channel, and he actually did one on Castlevania about which Castlevania game had the most accurate depiction of Dracula. I'm not going to spoil it. If you want to watch it, it's not that hard to look up, but I'll probably put a link in the description.
I remember watching it, but I can't remember which game it was.
Well, let's just not say it anyway.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil it for the audience.
Yeah.
We should probably put the link in the description for them to go watch.
Yeah.
Little promotion for a game theory couldn't hurt.
What I will say is the answer might surprise you. So here's Death, and this guy's a total prick.
Oh, hi, Death. I do know that, like, don't you appear in, like, almost every single Castlevania game?
Yeah. He tries to show some kind of mercy in this game, though, because he's like, if you turn around, I won't hurt you. But that's probably just because I'm Dracula's son.
I will not.
Alucard's like, fuck you!
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, fine, bitch.
So Dracula doesn't kill me, he just decides to strip me. And I feel like...
Ooh, sexy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the point of stripping would be to discourage me of going in further, but then he says, we will meet again.
So yeah, for better context, he strips you of your items and abilities.
But then again,
But, fanfic writers, if you do want to write some sexy Alucard death action, go right on ahead.
kind of messed that
And
up a
if you
little
can
bit.
do it well, then I'll just give you extra brownie points because I'm actually kind of critical about fanfiction because I myself am a writer.
Yay. You would probably get along well with my girlfriend. She is extremely critical of writing, and it's a little bit intimidating.
But seriously, guys, start writing that Alucard death fanfiction.
Oh, yeah. But I feel like Death probably said we will meet again because one day Alucard will die.
And also, if you can make it so that Death is simply doing it for out of sadism, or
Then again,
like,
come the year 2036, Alucard is still alive. And that's about 300 years later. Let's go ahead and get that
considering that, vampires are, one, usually undead, and
Whoops.
such.
Sorry about that.
Of course, it could vary between different sorts of vampires, but usually the most popular depiction of vampires has them being undead. Of course, there's always exceptions, such as Romelia Scarlet and Flandre Scarlet from Toho Project.
Yeah, also, Alucard is half human.
Well, that's interesting.
Yep.
So, apparently... Well,
Dracula banged a human chick and her name was Elizabeth.
Technically, depending on the lore... Wait a minute, it makes sense. He's not a vampire, he's a dampier.
Yes.
A dampier is basically... For those of you who don't know vampire lore, a dampier is basically a vampire-human hybrid. One who usually has incredible loathing for vampires and usually turns into a vampire hunter. So it makes sense as to why Alucard is actually going out to kill his father.
Daddy issues.
Major daddy issues. Which
But,
makes me wonder why a vampire would ever want to, you know, do it with a human if their offspring is going to end up killing them. Kind of an oversight on your part, Dracula.
Yeah. Though honestly, the main reason why Alucard has resentment for Dracula is because of what happened to his mother, which is kind of vaguely hinted at in this game. I do not know exactly the details.
Yeah, but still, the vampire thing is also cool too. I'm wondering if that was also what they were going for.
I would not be surprised. Castlevania is not too bad, not too shabby on its vampire lore.
Awesome. That's another way to appeal to me. Referencing lore and doing it well.
Yes. And that's why I was actually pretty impressed by one of the Castlevania games, which I still will not state because of that video. Because even though I'm not too big a fan of its gameplay, it's got the lore spot on.
Another game that I love for its lore, and a game which is chock full of it, is Okami.
Oh yes. It's on that same channel. There's a show called Gaijin Goomba.
Oh yes, I love his stuff.
Yeah, well, Gaijin Goomba is the person. He makes Game Exchange, and he's done a 3-part video on Okami.
And Chuck Conroy was the guest speaker because, you know, his Let's Play of Okami, which was amazing, by the way. And I agree with him. The art direction and the music is amazing.
The only reason why I have not actually went to go watch his Let's Play is because I actually plan to play Okami for myself.
And you should. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a very long game, and New Game Plus is also the thing you should do, but it's worth it. If you can get over the fact that you have to fight a certain boss 3 times and it's never changed.
I might actually record Okami, the playthrough of Okami. Maybe a blind playthrough if that is feasible. Depends on how easy it is to get lost.
The world is pretty huge, and sometimes you will get turned around, but most of the time you do have a map, and usually if I remember correctly, there usually is an arrow pointing you in the right direction.
Okay, then if it doesn't happen too often, I could probably just cut out the few times it does.
Just to let you know, if you're ever going for 100%, oh boy, you're going to be at it for a while. There are lots of side quests and lots of things to collect.
I am not very much a completionist, actually. Although this right here, the game we're playing, is the only game I've ever actually 100%ed.
Good, because Okami...
Actually 200%.
If I have to say, Okami is probably the game that will take the longest to 100%, because there's just so much to collect. I mean, the 100 stray beads, and all the side quests, and some of the side quests are a bitch.
I feel like Donkey Kong 64 might have it beat up, since it is got the Guinness Book of Real World Records for most collectibles in a video game.
Well, yeah, but that Guinness Book of World Records was how long ago?
I don't know, I feel like it hasn't been broken yet.
True, but again, it may have most collectibles, but Okami has should have longest to take to 100%. It's mostly time consuming. Not so much the amount of collectibles, just how time consuming it is to get all the side quests and all of the stray beads and everything.
Another game that takes quite a long time to 100% is actually Catherine. And not so much because of time consumption as difficulty. Catherine.
Oh, I've heard of that game.
Yeah, it is a strange game, but you'd be surprised by how long it takes to 100% complete it. And like I was saying, not so much not so much because of time consumption than it is because of difficulty. Because on the harder difficulty settings, in which you have to do to unlock certain trophies, or I believe trophies, it was said to be harder than Super Meat Boy. Than anything that Gerard, who is the quote-unquote completionist. Well, I wouldn't say quote-unquote. He does his job well.
I'm wondering if Gerard has done Okami. I'd like to see him do it.
Yeah, I am curious too. I feel like he probably has, but if not, he should.
Yeah, Gerard, I'd like to see how fast you can get all those stray beads.
I was actually disappointed he did not like Shadow of the Colossus that well.
Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah.
Again, another game I've heard of and only seen a little bit of gameplay of. Because I'm not really into games like that. I'm a girl who grew up on Sonic, Spyro, things like that. So I'm more into platformers like this, and not the 3D kind mostly, except Spyro.
Next time on New Game, I'm gonna sleep in a coffin.